What is up everybody, and welcome back to another video where today we are going to be running you through the cheapest 4K action cam that I personally found on Temu. So this little guy I found on Temu, and in Australia it's around about $34. So I'm guessing US dollars it's around about $22 to $25 depending on the market. But I wondered how good a quality could 4K possibly be for such a cheap price. Now it comes with a whole heap of little additions like this, so you can take it underwater, you can stick it onto your golf cart. It really can do pretty much everything that a normal action camera can do. But I guess my question is, how much can we really expect from an action camera that's only $34 Australian? Not to mention that this tiny little action cam from Temu actually comes with a 32GB micro SD card as well. So if you're looking for an early Christmas present for one of your kids, or something that's going to be cheap and not break the bank but give them a whole lot of fun, then potentially this could be for you. From a little bit more of a snobby nose side when we're talking about image quality and camera gear and all of that sort of stuff, I completely understand that you can't expect too much quality from something that's only $34. However, when it states 4K Ultra HD, let's check it out and see what kind of quality it is, because maybe you might be looking for something that's just extremely cheap and you're only wanting to use a couple of different shots in your YouTube videos or Instagram Reels or TikTok or whatever, and you don't want to break the bank on a DJI Action 5 or a GoPro 13 or anything like that. So does the image quality stack up or not? So the 4K image quality on this is not amazing, but it is usable. And I guess, like I said before, if you're buying it for your kids or something like that, where they're just going to go and have a whole bunch of fun over Christmas, potentially they might just be learning some editing software and just wanting to get some videos together, then this is definitely a great buy and you're going to get some good results. Something else that I also thought was really fun to use this with when I was going through my testing is just family videos. Just something at home that you can quickly grab a camera, you can turn it on, you can throw it in the pool, and you can go and do all sorts of things with this. Because it is so cheap, you're not going to worry about breaking it, and you're just going to have a whole lot of fun with some extra video content that you can put together. But it brings me to the question, would I personally use it for my YouTube videos? Well, this camera channel is my second channel. My main channel is a golf channel, and I do a whole lot of golf course content. So a use for an action camera is going to be on the buggy where it's sitting up there, and we call that a cart cam. So I went for a drive with my son in the golf cart, and this is what we got. All right, so this is an application that I would use the action camera for. In golf, it is a very popular angle. It's called a cart cam, so that when we're playing golf, we jump back into the cart. We can talk through our shot or the hole or whatever's going on, and potentially give the viewers just some more engagement with a different camera. Now, is this the quality that you would expect from a YouTube video? Let me know in the comments. Does it represent 4K quality, or do you think maybe the 4K statement on this camera is a little bit of a stretch? Let me know. So not too bad. And actually, one thing that I was impressed with this little 4K action cam, which is called a Our Life action camera, by the way, was that the audio quality of that was actually impressive. I couldn't put a microphone on there. There's no micro ports on there, but what I actually received back when I turned the audio on was better than I expected. I'm not going to say that it blows you away, but as an onboard mic, it was definitely better than I expected, and I can clean it up in my editing software, and it actually sounded half decent. Not only that, the next positive is that the field of view was good enough. I kind of cut a little bit of my head off, but that's just where the positioning was, and the little bracket that it gives you, it didn't go back flat, so I couldn't really get it higher, but it was decent enough, and I can make sure now that I know where I need to be that I'm in that shot. Strangely enough, where I think the action camera actually came into its own was in the pool. Now, I don't know why, but it seems as though when I went under the pool, I tend to get better quality out of the image of the action camera than when I was above the pool. That might be something to do with the automatic white balance or how it's reading that or whatever's happening under the water. But I don't know, call me crazy, it just seemed like I was getting a much better, a much clearer image quality under the water in the pool than I was outside of the water on top of the pool. Some of the things with this action camera that a number of different cameras, not just this one, but a number of different cameras are doing that I don't really understand. And one of them is the resolution. So when you go into the resolution, you've got 4K 30, you've got 2.7K 30, you've got 1080p Full HD 30, and then 1080p, all of which are in 30 frames per second. Now, the frame rates in these don't change, so you can't necessarily slow the footage down at all if you're wanting to use like 60 frames per second in 1080 and get that slow-mo kind of effect. And the image quality is not going to break the bank, so the image file size is generally pretty small. I don't know anybody with the options who would actually choose 1080p 30 over 4K 30 if they could use it. So I think that with something like this, just the one option of 4K 30 would have been fine. You can also adjust your exposure settings, and that's pretty cool because if you're in a really bright environment and you don't have an ND filter to go on the end of this little thing, then you can just go and put that as, you know, maybe -1 or minus 1.3 or something like that. So it's cool that they've given you that option. They also have what's called a motion detector. Now you can turn this motion detector on and off. I turned it on for a little bit, but then it actually kind of annoyed me because every time something would move or I would move the camera would start recording. So not a great feature in my opinion. You also have the option to record the audio or not record the audio. So I had the audio turned on even in the pool because I just wanted to see if I could get through this little case with some audio. It does work, it does kind of get through, obviously very muffled, but it did pick it up. You can change your photo resolution here. We have it in 16 megabytes. You can change it up or down depending on what your preference is. You can also change the image quality. So I have the image quality set on high, and you can change the capture time to a single capture time, a 3-second delay, 10-second delay if you wanted to do some selfies. So in the white balance setting, like I mentioned before, you have auto white balance, sunny, cloudy, tungsten, fluorescent. So you can kind of change those white balances as you go through. I had all of mine set to auto, so you could potentially get a little bit better quality out of the white balance performance if you're up for changing those. But really the menu setting when I go through it is very simple. So I've got to give them kudos for that as well, because that is a great little feature for somebody who potentially might be their very first action camera. Again, it might be a kid. After I've done this review, I'll give this to my son. So he's now 8 turning 9. And wanting to get into cameras and do this kind of stuff because of course, well, dad does it. So yeah, I mean, all in all guys, when I look at this sort of thing, am I expecting it to blow my mind? Well, not really, but did it? It kind of did. It's only $34 Australian, I'm going to mention that again, and the quality that it put out was okay. And I would expect that maybe 5 years ago, that probably would have been a lot more expensive camera for the same quality that we're now receiving. So I think they've done a great job. I think they've got a good product on the market at a very appropriate price point, and I think it can benefit a whole lot of people. Would I personally use it in my videos outside of something like this? Probably not. But if it gets my son into it, if it gives him something to do, if it gives him a whole bunch of fun that me and him can do together, then, well, that's $34 well spent in my book. But that is the Owlife action camera, and I'm stoked, really. I'm stoked for the $34 that I spent on this, on what it can do. That's it for me today, guys. Short, sharp, quick one. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and like this video. Any questions, throw them in the comments section, and I'll get back to you. But I'll see you on the next video. Cheers, guys.